A bevy of stars still have not qualified. As we go to semifinal number 2, Mike LaRocco in the factory connection, along with Ryan Hughes, Michael Brown, Mikel Pichon, a Team Suzuki rider, Frederic Boulay, a Frenchman, and the Team Honda truck right now until Lammy gets back into action. John Sebastian Roy, Robbie Skaggs, a lot of people hungry. Even Guy Cooper is set up in this one. Let's go down to Marty.
Yeah, I talked to Ron Woods, that's the mechanic for Ryan Hughes. I said, how's the guy? And he says, his back is killing him. And I said, you really didn't want to do this? He says, no way, but this guy can still win this race. And remember 2 years ago at Charlotte when he did a face plant, broke his jaw, and finished the night of racing? If there is an Ironman in this sport, he's riding bike 10.
You see him right there on the end as the crowd anxiously awaits, and another great crowd here at Tempe, Arizona, Sun Devil Stadium. The series has been here twice before, and then before last year. This is the first time we've had back-to-back seasons, and they're off. Mike Brown, number 100, out in front. But does he get the whole shot? On the far side is Travis Hodges, 410, out in front of the whoop section. Travis Hodges. Hughes is right behind Michael Brown, number 100. Back in the pack is number 5, Mike LaRocco. LaRocco is dangerously back in the pack.
He'll have his work cut out, but he's right there. They're all in contact. As long as he doesn't make any big mistake, get caught up in a crash or something, he should be able to work his way into position, no problem. Hughes has got great position right there in third.
Michael Brown, our leader, number 100, has been reunited with Honda of Troy. And can he get another feather in the cap for Phil Alderton's Honda of Troy team after we said what we said earlier?
Yeah, every one of those checkered flags are good. And you know, Mike Brown is a very fast Supercross rider. Always has been. But again, they say it's always been in his head in the 250 class. And, you know, maybe this is what he needs. But then again, this race isn't over yet. And right here we see Hughes is going to work Hodges to the whoops. No contest there on that factory bike.
No contest as Ryan Hughes moves into second place in front of Hodges.
Well, now Brown's going to look over his shoulder, and he's going to still see green, but one less digit. Hughes is a whole different rider than Travis Hodges, and will put the pressure on him, even in a semi.
Mikel Pichon is behind Hodges right now, trying to move up. There's Ron Wood, Hughes' mechanic, checking that stopwatch.
Now Hughes can see the split up to Brown. He can gauge what's going on behind him. Feet back.
Okay, it's Brown, Hughes, Hodges, Pichon, and LaRocco.
I got to ask him.
Top 5 go to the main event. You got to ask him what?
What the heck does feet back mean? I haven't seen that one yet.
I think he's telling him what to do in the whoops. I think he's telling him to get a little further back and let his legs soak up more of those whoops, because that's got to be where it's most painful for him.
There you see Ryan Hughes in second place. Can he hold on to second? We'll know in a moment. Welcome back to our second semifinal. It is Brown and Hughes, 1 and 2. Pichon has moved into third, number 16. Mikel Pichon after a hard rocking crash last week in Houston.
There's a great battle right here between LaRocco and Hodges. LaRocco got him, got the spot before the finish line jump. Hodges charged right back.
That's the kind of passing we've been expecting, guys.
That's the way it's going to be all night. You know, you can't have a lot of friends out there when you have a track this tight, but I think everyone expects that. That's not dirty riding, what we just saw Mike LaRocco do. That was just a good, solid, aggressive move.
And Hodges did it first. Actually, I think they're about even now. And LaRocco really, he got pushed into this semi from Henry. He kept doing it to him. LaRocco kept making the pass, and Henry kept block passing him back.
Back are the leaders now. Mike Brown, number 100, starting to get a little challenge from Ryan Hughes.
Look how slick it is. They get into these corners, really working the front brake. It's important to use the front brake hard here. Obviously not too hard, let the front end wash out, but the harder you get on the front brake, the more stable you can keep you under braking. Imagine if the car you had only had rear brakes. Every time you put on the brakes, the rear end would skid around. That's what happens into all these corners.
You know, Hughes is trying a few different lines there on the whoops. I don't know if you guys noticed that. He exits that corner really tight, and whereas a lot of guys are pounding through, starting with their front wheel and just hitting every one of them, Hughes is trying to roll that corner and jump as far in as he can. You watch on the next lap, I'll bet he makes a stab to the lead.
Key is to stay close enough. If you got a good place out on the track where you believe you can make a pass, And that's what you want to stay close, so when you get there, you have that opportunity.
Dean Baker, let's see what he has to say to Mike Brown out in front. Michael Brown, who raced in Europe last year. You can, 1 lap to go. Coming up.
Then you got Ron Wood on with his pit board saying, do it. Both those riders can see what's going on out there.
It is the white flag lap.
That's a little bit of a psychological boost, I think, for Brown to be able to hold off Ryan Hughes and win this semi. Just to win a race. Doesn't matter if it's the last chance. Feels good to win. For Hughes, he's just probably happy to make it into the main event. Whether he wins this or not, I don't think it's going to be a big deal for him.
Hughes coming up near the rear tire as they go into the right turn. Mike Brown on the inside. Ryan Hughes to the outside. Ryan, I'd love to see those checkers right now. Getting close to the final turn. What's going to happen? Hughes puts himself out in front. Ryan Hughes takes the checkers and the final turn. Oh, my goodness gracious. What a great move. Conservation, good position by Ryan Hughes, and then he made it count with the block pass in the final turn.
Again, we're going to see that all night long. You know what? That was just the most perfect move you can make. But you know what, David? That's one of those times you can only do that when no one else is behind you.
Right. If you try to do anything a little extra creative out there, you can get passed by the guy behind you, taking advantage. The way these corners are wide tonight really opens it up for a lot of different passes.
Hughes, Brown, Pashun, our top 3. 5 advance to the main event. We'll check the official finish when we come back. Out of semifinal number 2, 2 great performances, really. Even though Ryan Hughes put the block pass on Michael Brown in the final turn, it was also a fine run from Mike Brown, who had a 13th in the opener and a 20th in Houston. So it's got to be a confidence boost for both guys as we go down to Marty Reed.
Well, we're down here with a very tired but a very happy Ryan Hughes, and you just told me you didn't see the white flag.
No, I don't think I got the white flag, so, you know, I was just going for a pass to win. Came across the finish line to check a flag. I'm like, oh my God, and then I slowed down and he kept going. I'm like, that's it, right? And I look back and check a flag. So I was like, well, that's the way it went.
I got to ask you, how's your back?
Well, on the track, I don't really think about it. Last weekend, I started cramping up halfway through the race, but man, when I get off the bike, it hurts. I mean, it's hard to sit down, and when I stretch, it's hard to get up. It's just, I don't know what's wrong. I got to go see another doctor, and, you know, to me, it's something in the spine. You know, I don't know, it might be a cracked vertebrae or something, but it's not getting any better, so.
Well, he's got 20 more laps to go tonight, guys. The Iron Man of this sport. We talked about it before.